Okay, everybody, I am here with Nathan Corbett. Bob and I are here with Nathan Corbett, 11-time world Muay Thai champion, 65 fights, 55 wins and 44 knockouts. Is that pretty close?
Not close enough. It's 64 fights, 60 wins, 42 knockouts.
Wow. Okay.
You gave me a lot more losses, so I don't want
to. I don't know what they have on Wikipedia for you.
Yeah, you know what? You know the problem with Wikipedia is they don't classify the spawn fight when I knocked him out a knockout. They call it a no contest.
Oh.
I changed the rules because he was knocked out.
So, you're originally from New Zealand, right?
Yeah, I was born in New Zealand, but I moved to Australia when I was like 6, 7 years old. So
wow.
more connected to Australia as far as, knowing more about the country and growing up there. And everything I've learned, I guess was from Australia.
Okay. And you're from the Gold Coast, right?
Yep, exactly. That's where we met back some time ago, maybe 25 something years ago.
We're 19 years old. We were at Vince Perry's in his backyard or something like that.
Yeah, it was Vince Perry's. He was in Palm Beach.
Okay.
He had like a back shed with mats on it, and he had you for a seminar. My teacher was always about, throwing us in there, even if I wasn't going to be a shoot boxer or an MMA fighter. He just used to throw us in there to do seminars. So I was in there doing it. You were
originally a karate man?
Yep, I started when I first, kicked off martial arts. It was about 13, 14, and that was with the traditional karate.
Wow! And what style? What did you have a style?
It was a Shotokan base, but my teacher had kind of like collabed with Hanshi Hizutaka from Japan, who's a Shirinji-Ryu, which was more flowing style of karate than rigid. So it was kind of like a blend of the Heian katas from the Shotokan with a lot more like, body twisting and fluent sort of movements.
Wow. So when you were doing that, were you more of a puncher or a kicker?
You know what? Like I've never had the flexibility and natural ability to kick like, some kind of karate masters or taekwondo or anything where it's like the spinning kicks, the heel kicks, the axe kicks, the wheel kicks. It was never really something that my body kind of felt like was a natural movement. So I was more of just, a round kicker. And then when I started Muay Thai at 16, I started cross-training karate and Muay Thai. And then obviously I found that low leg kick. Then I'd compete in Kyokushin tournaments and just going for the leg kick kills and hands and stuff like that. So it kind of worked in my favor in the long run because I just never had that versatility or agility and flexibility in my hips and stuff to be able to do the flashy kicks.
Wow. Well, it played very well into Muay Thai. When was your first fight in Muay Thai?
Yeah, when I was 16, I crossed over, like I said, and then I had like a one fight that year. I guess it was, it was kind of like a kickboxing fight back then because it was amateur, no elbows. And of course, I just was doing it part-time, from 16 through to about 19. I was just having one little kickboxing fight a year, having some karate tournaments. It wasn't until I was 20 that I sort of gave away the karate, rocked up to a professional Muay Thai fight gym, and then just dove into becoming, at that time, not knowing it was going to be my life, but dove into what I loved, which was training and fighting. And then I never looked back.
Wow. Was your karate system were you with Bob Jones or wasn't?
No, I was with Bob Jones. Yeah. Wasn't that organization at all. Again, it was more from a traditional roots.
Okay.
And we fought in the Koshiki kind of full contact karate time, which was the armor and the headgear with the plastic bubble. So it was like more bare fist to the face, but you'd be hitting that plastic perspex, which would smash your hands up pretty bad. But it was still like it was a high level point scoring full contact karate.
It's like sabaki. Is it sabaki, right?
Well, of course, there was sweeps, but there was no takedown finishes.
They have a karate system very similar called Daijo Doku, which is almost like Kyokushin, and then they mix a judo, and then you can throw. If you grab, if you clinch, you can throw them, and then you can you can fight on the ground. Have you seen that one? It's pretty interesting. It's almost like judo.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but I do like the sounds of that, because it's like the Karate Combat League that they're doing now. I guess there's that potential takedown, a quick little finish, and then back up. That's probably why, like, later on, I gravitated towards fighting in Japan, fighting shoot boxing, because you could actually do that. Muay Thai with standing submissions and throws, but there was no actual continuation once it hit the floor.
You have 5 seconds or so when you throw them that you can hit them on the way down, right?
Yeah, pretty much it was over. You know, from what I remember, it was pretty much once they sort of hit them, they'd be like, you know, if it was a good throw, they'd be like, shoot, you know, and you know, that's why they had that whole fist, the gun thing is like shoot, and then you get that score. But it was for me, it was just another Muay Thai fight with a few extra tricks, which was fun. I actually would prefer to fight shoot boxing my whole fight career, because I think it was the ultimate stand-up fighting sport, which is Muay Thai, you know, and then you add in like some hip throws, some standing chokes, guillotines, arm bars, and suplexes and that, and it's pretty fun without going to the next extreme, which of course, you know, what you did, and most MMA fighters take that route.
So you enjoyed shoot boxing? Your fights looked fun. You had your spats on. You had your long. I mean, those are required. A lot of people thought it was the fashion, but it was actually the uniform that was required. You were required to wear. I remember walking all around Japan when I was cutting weight, trying to find a pair of spats, and every pair I found would only fit my little sister.
Yeah.
I was so mad. I was like, I haven't eaten a thing for 2 days, and I'm walking all around Japan trying to find some tights. I'll just wear the tights I have. And they go, oh, it's always good to have new tights. And I was like, but there's none that fit. So I was, I think, one of the first guys in Japan to actually start wearing shorts, because all the fighters had to wear long tights. And I said, hey, am I allowed to wear spandex shorts? And they go, I don't see why not. So then I wore that. And then in a couple of my fights, I wore tie shorts.
Oh, that's super cool.
I will say this, though. I was fighting on TV. Chad was my coach. He was my training partner, ended up being my coach. And I remember I walked out and I pulled off my shorts, and I had the pancrase shorts, which are basically posing trunks for bodybuilding.
Yeah.
They're like skivvies, you know. I had a pair of purple, I had a red one and a purple one, and you have to double them up because they'll always get pulled down. So I had that with my cup in, and Chad just looks at me and he goes, if you wear that to the ring, I am not cornering you. This is the style. He goes, not for me, not for you. You're not wearing those. You'll never hear the end of it. You are not wearing those. You're not Brazilian. I was going to wear a bikini, like Matt Hall did. And, or no, Dennis Hallman, sorry. Dennis Hallman wore that, and people wouldn't stop talking shit on him after that fight. You remember when he wore those skivvies? I think they were red or something. He had a big old cup in, and everyone's like, but that could have been me. Thank God Chad said, put some shorts on, or I'm not cornering you.
Yeah, well, he's a good man. He's a good man. He's a wise man.
So would you say most of your knockouts, were they more from the hands or from the elbows or knees or low kick, or what would you say you're notorious because you were knocking everyone out with elbows and forearms, so your nickname was the Golden Elbow, right?
That's right.
So was that every fight? Almost every fight you were trying to put a forearm or an elbow through someone's head?
I mean, the truth is yes, every fighter would try to put the elbow through their forehead. But, because it necessarily wouldn't always, be there, or they wouldn't give you the opportunity, or they would, do the right thing, which is cover up. And I had a lot of other skills, that I didn't just rely on one technique. So I love, the left body shot. I had very good boxing. Like I said, I like the low kick and knees. And then it wasn't actually till I retired from fighting that I was teaching a lot more. I was like, oh, that's right. I won 2 world titles with a knee, like a straight long knee to the sternum. And I was like, oh, I won this fight in 2005, WBC world title fight against Magnum Sakai from Japan, with his step up with his long knee. But it was after I was starting to crush his head with elbows and body shots and leg kicks and elbows and body shots and leg kicks. And then as soon as I stepped in, he just shielded up, and my mind at the time just saw the spots. I just popped the knee. I mean, you can always pop a knee, and that sometimes it doesn't work, but it worked. Bang. And he curled over. And the same thing in 2010 when I went for my first heavyweight world title. I did the same thing. I was smothering this guy with elbow shots, body shots, elbow shots. And he went to put the high helmet on, and then I just saw the body opportunity and hit him with the knee, and then he bent over and couldn't get up. So I had two world title fights, that I knocked a guy with knees. I had a couple of world title fights where I, smashed them with elbows. I had a couple, world title fights that went the distance, where I was just more of I dominated them with all my skills over a period of 5 rounds. So I've had a lot of success with knocking people out with elbows, but I've also had a lot of success with leg kicks, with lever shots, knee strikes, a few headshot knockouts as well. So the Carnage really has it all, but honestly, the elbow kind of sets the tempo up and kind of puts that extra pressure and that relentless attitude, the relentless mentality of coming forward and really trying to baseball bat their head in.
Wow. Your style's kind of a in-your-face style. You just step right into the pocket and stay there and blast your power hands, and you're super fast for a heavyweight too. Super fast, and then forearms and elbows in there perfectly.
Yeah, I started my fight career, like super middleweight, and I just sort of early in my career, I was like, I want to be bigger, I want to be stronger, because I just wanted to be the biggest warrior, out there. So I met a guy who was a fireman, and we got into weight training together. And I said, that's it. I'm just going to pump weights, 3 or 4 days a week, every morning, smash weights, and just keep smashing pads every night. So over the years, I just got more muscle mass as I grew up, and I just started building. So then I ended up going from my first title to my Australian titles to my 11 world titles. I went up 5 weight divisions, and I was 3 different weight division champion as a world title holder, and I was undefeated as a world title holder in any of my belts. So it was all about being explosive, powerful, aggressive. And to me, I didn't lose the speed, because of the speed come from the urgency, not the urgency and the desperate me, but like the urgency of like, this is fighting. I'm not here to play. So I was aggressive and explosive. And that's that fast twitch fiber, plus that's connected to the mind. So then any kind of muscle that I grew, it was explosive, powerful, and quick. It never become like slow or sloppy. I was still moving like a middleweight, even at heavyweight.
Super dynamic. I was watching your hands, and I was like, holy shit, for his size, he's super fast, extremely crisp and dynamic. You love the body shot, the liver shot, the uppercuts mixed with the elbows. That's one thing that is a style definitely by itself. And you created the Carnage System, which is it's an actual system, right? And don't you have a course on that?
Yeah, that's correct. I many times I would I'll be, when I finish my fight career, people ask me to start teaching seminars, and my first question to myself was like, what am I going to teach? Because in jiu-jitsu or Jeet-Kune-Do, or even since I've met you, the range of knowledge, is just like an encyclopedia book. And it's just like, okay, which page, which chapter do I want to teach?
Mm-hmm.
But I become a fighter, which was just for me, even though you were a fighter too, I become just this fighter that just honed in on skills that were good for me and developed them and just pulled the trigger and just smashed people. It didn't matter like what happened. So I never really learned a system. So then when I stopped fighting, I'm like, well, I don't even know what I'm supposed to teach. I'm just going to teach people how to smash people. That's it. Okay, cool. Let's go do that. And then over the years of doing like, over 100 different seminars around the world, I was like, well, there's something I did recognize that I was doing different, because everywhere I went around the world, like, oh, I've never seen this, I've never seen that, I've never done that. Oh, it's the best seminar I've ever been to. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So then I developed a system, because I had to develop a system so people could understand, well, there's an actual system here. So here's like some stepping stones to get to how to be what's going on inside my head without it even being a system. So I more or less developed it later. And then when I told a friend one day, he goes, oh, so you didn't get taught what you're teaching us? I said, no one taught me.
You developed it.
I developed it. Someone taught me how to throw an elbow. Someone taught me how to throw a jab and a cross and a hook at some point in my career. I definitely had teachers that taught me, pieces of my puzzle. And then I put it together and molded this. And then by going out there and fighting and being violent and going and being aggressive, I understood the game. And like you said earlier, I like to be right there in their face, forward, in the pocket, pressure, which for most long, tall guys, because when I first started training, the Thais would come to me to the gym back on the Gold Coast, and some Thai trainers would be there. They're like, oh, they say, you long, you fight long, you tip, you tang, you tip, you tang, you stay long, you stay long. And I'm just like, I don't even throw tip kicks. I'm just like, boom, I'm just straight in your face, just wrecking. I'm just trying to like maul you.
But what was your thought behind the elbow? Like you were trying to contemplate the most lethal part of your body, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, it come down to my first Muay Thai coach, Greg Whitehouse, which is the guy who introduced me to you, plus also Dan. And he, he was a Muay Thai guy, and he done Jeet Kune Do as well. And he's like, okay, this is Muay Thai. And he grabbed the VHS tape, the old tapes, and boom, put them into play. It was like 1994, 95, 96. So then I'm watching these Thais fight back in the golden era, and they're just cutting each other, slicing each other to ribbons. Like there was just no mercy. And when I saw that, my eyes were just like this. I'm like, whoa, I mean, that weapon is so brutal. Like, why would you not want to master that weapon? Like, if you're going to fight Muay Thai, maybe, even though knees and kicks and everything's strong, to me, that was the best weapon of all of them, because you have to still get your foot off the floor up to someone's hair. You have to still get your knee up to someone's ribs. But an elbow in the head is almost at the same, range, same level. So it's almost the quickest point. So then I saw that and just developed it over time, going, okay, that's brutal. So then, because I also had the karate mentality of one hit, one kill, and karate was old, like whether it's right or wrong or it's outdated, it had a spirit, which was like, boom, like break a brick wall, break through ice, break through all this stuff, and one hit, one kill kind of mentality. So then when I developed the elbow, I never swung my elbow like it was just like something to play with. I was like swinging an axe or swinging a baseball bat or swinging like a dagger to like pretty much take your life.
Oh, that attitude, you can tell when you watch your videos.
Yeah. Even though I'm not a psychopath. It's just what you have to do when the bell rings.
Sure. But is it true in Thailand that the fight, they don't usually start throwing elbows till like maybe the third round, or don't they kind of warm up a little bit with some long range and then is that true?
Yes. I asked that question, because I was like, how come like both fighters have the same rules, like the same weapons, they have you got the same 8 weapons as the Muay Thai fight. You have 8 weapons, I have 8 weapons. And I watch people fight, even back in Australia, not necessarily even in Thailand, but I'm like, you didn't throw one elbow in 5 rounds, like not even one. Like, did you sign an agreement with each other at the weigh-in? Like, let's not elbow each other so no one gets cut and no one gets stitches. So I think in Thailand, what happens is, I guess, they're fighting a lot. They fight regularly. So I guess an elbow cut damage could put them out for 2-3 weeks, 4 weeks, even if it was a really bad cut.
Oh,
so I don't know, officially, but I think, more or less it's we don't really need to elbow each other tonight. Let's just kick knee and punch each other and just get the job done, get paid and go home.
Okay. Well, what about in Holland? Did you ever go to Holland to train, or is all your Muay Thais from your coach in Australia?
I never went to Holland. I never went there. My Muay Thai was, I guess, a blend of being around some good Thai boxing, gyms on the Gold Coast. I only ever went to Thailand for a few months, but not that much. Just went there, trained a few times in a few different camps, but not long extended periods. And again, like I said, it was a mix of, my early coaches teaching me stuff, then being a part of John Mopar and his gym for a while, being a part of that gym. And then my promoter, Ray Matsumura, was connected to Koshikawa and Masato's boss in Japan. And also the shoot boxing, which is how I got all the shoot boxing fights. Then I would study Masato and all these other Japanese kickboxing Muay Thai fighters. So I emulated some of their movements. And then we had people like Paul Hurricane Briggs, who was a Muay Thai world champion when he was 18 and become, fought for the WBC title twice against Thomas Adamak, 2 wars. And not many people know about that name, as many as they should know, but Paul Hurricane Briggs is probably one of the best boxers to ever come out of Australia. Probably, of course, Jeff Fennick being one of the top guys, just from the fact that he won so many big titles. Danny Green, whatever. But anyway, so he was also the guy that ended up in the end coaching me as well. And I just had a mixture of my trainer, Richard, who was my pad holder, who was just a tough, stubborn trainer that didn't necessarily bring 1,000 moves to my plate, but gave me the ability to train, the 50 moves that I did have every single day, every single night, and hitting to break things every time, And then all my experience, I guess, come from just stepping over the ropes and actually pulling the trigger, and not just laying back and getting a point swing. I literally went to fight every fight.
Oh, now you said when we had lunch with Guro Dan and Ajarn Chai, you said that they inspired you a little bit for your elbows. Didn't you do some elbows with Guro Dan?
Yeah. Absolutely. Both masters inspired me. Of course, I did a seminar with Master Chai when I was I think 17 years old. So when you're 17, to actually meet the first Thai, it was the first Thai that I'd actually met at that time. Because I was only really still in my karate school, which was more Japanese, and then my Muay Thai coach was on the Gold Coast. So he'd been to Thailand, but I hadn't been in a Thai gym. It was just more of a part-time hobby gym. So it was the first kind of Thai that I've been around, and I'm 42, so I was 17, so do the maths on that. It was a while ago. So he was pretty much in his prime as well. So that was really awesome to do that. He inspired a lot. And then I actually started my fight career, and I think I was was either Australian champion or I just won my first world title. And then I'd stopped training with my first Muay Thai coach because hey, Guro Dan is in town. I want you to do a seminar. So of course, let's go. So then I went and did a seminar with him. But just from the knowledge that my first Muay Thai teacher had taught me, that was through the Jeet Kune Do, which was we were using the wooden dummy, hitting a wooden dummy, elbows on the dummy, water over the bridge, water under the bridge, all this kind of inspirational stuff. So I always, we'd be watching Bruce Lee videos all the time. So just that was my inspiration. That was my lineage, So when I had the opportunity to meet both masters, it was just as you were there. I was just
yeah, you didn't eat your lunch. You go, I can eat lunch.
I didn't even eat, and I'm always hungry.
Yeah, you sat there in amazement, and you didn't touch your food.
No.
And it was funny, your mentality. I can eat food every day. I can't listen to these guys. This is my one chance. I've been waiting for this.
That's exactly right.
It's cool to be able to bring you to meet them again and to hang out for lunch. And that was a very special day, definitely.
Yes. It was, for me, it was, and I sent a video and I sent the pictures to my trainer, Greg Whitehouse, and he said, "You just thank you so much." He was crying on his voice message saying, "You made my day, you made my month, you made my year. You just completed my whole circle of my martial arts life."
Wow.
By doing that for him, because I was his like champion student that become someone that left him because I needed to go to the next stable and move forward, and I was the one that become this big superstar, but we're still like close to heart, close to close, still talk all the time.
Wow. Did you ever fight in K1 or Glory? Did you do?
I fought on some K1 shows in Japan. Not like obviously the K1 super heavyweight tournaments because I wasn't that weight back then. Even when I fought a heavyweight, it was only 95 kilos, which is 210 pounds. It wasn't like the super heavyweights where they're like above 100 kilos up. So I fought a few times in Japan on K1 shows. I fought in Sweden in 2007 in the 8-man tournament, which was Scandinavia K1 tournament.
Oh.
But they made it a 202 pound cut-off weight, so that was kind of cool. So I was a 190-pound world champion, but I went in there, stepped in there, and did 3 fights in one night. Did the whole K1 tournament style fighting, and I won the tournament. So that was amazing.
Wow.
And I did fight in Glory at the end of my career. It was kind of like the end of my career, and I fought Tyron Spine, which he beat me the second time, which was 2013. Which I don't think anyone would have beat Tyron Spine. Honestly, in 2013, he was beating everyone.
Wow.
Then 2014, I fought Gökhan Saki in Istanbul in his home country and got the freakish accident where he threw a left hook and it grabbed my ear and folded my ear because it's really stiff from all the training and just it tore my ear in half. And I couldn't continue the fight because the doctor stopped the fight out of like a freak.
Wow.
It wasn't even like I'm lost. I'm just like, this sucks,
Is he Turkish or where's he from?
Turkish. He's Turkish, and it ended up being a 4-man tournament, and I had to fight him first in his hometown in Istanbul. I was just like, man, how you gonna? I didn't think at the time how you gonna beat this guy, but then when he won the tournament, I'm thinking, did anyone think he wasn't gonna win the tournament?
Too bad. Did you ever get a rematch?
I didn't. What happened after that fight is it took a few months to recover. So I couldn't even lie on a pillow, on this side. And then I turned 35, and I just. Over those 3 months recovering, it was almost like God just said, "That's it, son. You're done. Like it's over." Like, and we never know when our last breath is.
Yeah, sure.
And we don't know when our last fight is, or our last punch on a bag in the sense of a fight camp is. So I think that's when it because just happened, and just all of a sudden overnight, it was like my candle just got put out. So.
But you had a great run. You fought for what, 10 straight, 10 or
15 years, straight. I didn't have time off and go and try and be someone else and come back to it, just all in.
That's a long time for a Muay Thai fighter.
Yeah, a lot of banging.
It really is. What's the average expectancy, fight expectancy?
Yeah.
How long do they fight till?
Well, the truth is that in Muay Thai, there's not a lot of money. So to see fighters fighting past the age of, 32, it doesn't really happen because, it's a young man's sport for one. Obviously in Thailand, the only ones who fight for money in their 30s are the superstars that can get on foreign shows. But as far as a Western Muay Thai fighter is concerned, because Thailand's a whole different rule set, they're fighting from the age of 10 years old and it's a money game. But for a Western Muay Thai fighter, you fight in your 20s when, you don't need a job and money doesn't matter. You just fight in your 20s, then you hit 30 or 30 something, and maybe you got a wife, maybe you got kids, and, and maybe you got to grow up and, go get a job or something like that. So physically it's a hard journey. And then obviously you get to that point where well, what am I going to just keep doing this as an amateur? But for me, it was different. I did make a little bit of money, not much, but a little bit to just go all in and I hit 35, and there are some fighters that, that are lasting, up to 40, but it's very rare. I don't really see many fighters past 35 in Muay Thai. There is only maybe, 5 or 6 or 7, that I've seen.
Jerome LeBanner. I think Jerome LeBanner, he lasted a pretty long time.
Yeah, look, and John Wayne Parr's 46 years old in May, and he still wants to fight. You know what I mean? He's a freak. So he basically got another, 10, 11-year career than me. So it's like, whoa, it's crazy that he can do that. And I just think it comes down to not so much do you want it, just like I said, the candle sometimes in someone's body can just blow out. And that's more or less, not that you don't want to do it. I think now that I'm understanding the human body more, it's more of a, your nervous system can only take so much, and we don't know how many times you can go through that roller coaster, that thunderstorm, that cyclone, until you become like, okay, I've burnt all of my vitality now. So
wow, yeah, that's a tough one. But sitting next to you, just a little while ago, and listened to you talk. I think you obviously still have the fight in you, but the question is, do you want to fight again? You said you'd like to fight maybe with elbows.
Yeah, I did. When I sat with you, I was just feeling very, very just unsettled, and just feeling the need, because I didn't feel like I retired by choice. I felt like my nervous system sort of stopped working, and I just felt tired and this and that, and I just was like in a spin, and all of a sudden you're like too far out of the game to come back, and then you're always hanging on the fence thinking, oh, maybe next year. And then 7 years goes by, you haven't got back there. So you've got to realize that it's done, it's over. And when I was sitting with you, I was like, oh, I don't know, maybe, I just had that little spark, that little buzz. And the good news is that I've actually come to peace now.
Oh, good.
With the idea of fighting, and I've actually found my purpose again. And I think that's what was missing. It was just I was lingering between what my purpose was and what I used to have as a purpose. Mm-hmm. And my purpose used to be, a ring warrior, which I'd go in there and just destroy and smash and, and earn myself my living and create a journey and a story and become, historic. At the time, I wasn't thinking about becoming anyone, just becoming better than myself the day before. But now it's like, no, now I realize that through all of that journey, it created me the person I am today, which gives me the opportunity to be a leader. So now I'm really more passionate about leading people. And of course, I still train, I still can demonstrate, I can still keep my sword like a little sharp. But I don't, even said last night when I was coaching some students, and they were like hitting the bag and screaming. And I was just like, whoa, look how much vitality they're burning right now. Yeah. And they're 25 years old and 20 years old, and they've got that vitality, and they can burn that stuff and it will replace tomorrow, and burn it, replace tomorrow, burn it, replace tomorrow. No, I could do it for like one day, but I couldn't replace it tomorrow. And I'm like, does that suck or is that okay? And I'm like, you know what? It's okay. It's okay. I've already been there, so I can still show you sharp. I can still take most people out if I had to, which is not the purpose of this journey anyway.
That's right.
But now I'm feeling empowered about how much more can I lead people? How much more can I inspire and empower people to become either a champion if they're young, or to become a better human being? Or just one of my clients this morning, I could just see the fear in him. I'm like, I just want to get rid of the fear so he doesn't live in fear. That was it, like as simple as that.
Yeah, you're doing a lot of privates. And then tell us about your course that you offer.
Yep, yeah. So I developed, like I said, the elbow striking system. I mean, it's always growing, but I had the opportunity last year in May to film at the headquarters at RUCA. And I filmed like a 20 video series where it kind of like steps you through, different elbow patterns and different combinations and boxing and ways to put it together. And it's pretty easy. You can just, on my Instagram, which is Carnage Corbett, you can just go and hit the link and then you can buy it on there. It's pretty simple. It downloads to computer. You got 20 videos. There's not one long video. It's literally bite-sized videos. So you can watch it and you know exactly what you watch, what you haven't watched, or you can skip to the end if you didn't want to watch it all.
That's nice. That's what Bob does. He organizes like that, and there's check boxes. That's a great way to learn.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's like it just keeps continuing and continuing. Maybe it's too
right.
So that was my first, video series so far that I've, sat down and developed and filmed and edited and got the product out there. But I'm always constantly teaching and changing and, you know, doing seminars. And I'm always, as you know, as a martial artist, you know, I'm always changing and moving, evolving. Of course, I circle back to the beginning again and then recycle the same stuff, and I come back and I recycle and I come back and I recycle. And then every time I recycle stuff, I'm like, oh, it's kind of new again. But it's the same thing, just seen differently, developed differently, talked about differently, viewed differently, respected differently. So even I'm teaching beginners and going, whoa, this is amazing. And it's beginner stuff.
That's good. Where can people find your Carnage elbow system?
Yeah, just on my Instagram. If you hit the link, there's a link in the bio. Just bang, hit the link. It's going to take you straight to where you can purchase it, and then put your email, and boom, it's going to get emailed to you. You've got it on your computer or your whatever it is you like to use for life.
It's a downloadable product. Okay.
Yep.
And that's Nathan Corbett on Instagram. Carnage Corbett.
Carnage Corbett. That's it.
Carnage Corbett on Instagram. Your Instagram's got a lot of really nice posts, and I like when you put your fight footage up. I like the post you put up when you went to elbow a guy and you missed him.
Oh yeah,
that was good. It's good. Yeah. It's good to show stuff like that too, because sometimes when you're just kicking the shit out of everyone all the time, it's good to, like, I had a fight, my first fight in Japan, and this guy has never thrown a jab cross in his life. And so he was just jabbing at me the whole time. And all of a sudden I went to go inside parry and then jab and then follow with the right. And I went to parry and he threw a cross and it went right through. And my spun around and my ponytail actually spun around and hit me in the eye. And on TV, that's all they could show was this guy's one punch that he hit me with. But it's good to put stuff like that up because people need to see that stuff too. I like to, you know, I've had a couple fights that didn't go as planned, and you need to post those just as well as your other stuff too.
Yeah, I think so. Exactly. I mean, obviously, you know, everyone likes to show their highlight reel, of course. Which is cool because you're trying to. When I show my highlight reel, it's more about me going, look, here's a little idea of, like, you know, what I can do, what I've done, and let me inspire you now. Come train with me, or like, listen to what I've got to say because of this. But you're so right about, you know, the other things, like, you know, getting knocked out. You know, I've been knocked out before, or like, you know, doing this or getting caught, or because that's reality. That's the reality. And even when I'm teaching, I'm like, look, you're going to get hit. That's why I prepare my students to get hit, but not to allow to be hit. Like, you can prepare them to get hit, so when they get hit, they're not surprised. Yeah. But don't make them accept getting hit's okay.
Yeah.
But be prepared for it, because you're going to get hit, because it's fighting. There's no way around it. But don't accept to be hit and think, oh, it's okay, I can be hit. No. We don't accept getting hit. We smash. That's all we do. If we get hit, we're okay with it.
Yeah, that's good. That elbow, it was good when you put that up, because it just showed the amount of power that you put into an elbow.
I'll flip myself over.
That was good, though. I mean,
yeah.
Just.
Because I'm putting the power in there. I'm trying to take him out. You know? So, like, yeah, it truly is. I mean, it is battle tested, combat ready. And look, I can kick, you know, I can knee, I can do all those things. But the thing I focus on, I actually teach everything, because they all go together. But when I sort of like pigeonhole and highlight one section, it is that, like, that hand to elbow, back to hand, back to elbow kind of movement, maybe a low kick, because it's hard to kick the head when you're elbowing a body shot, and it's going to be quick. You haven't got time to go back upstairs. So it is a system, and it is a part of me that I really sort of tunnel vision on. Although I can go all the way over here and teach other skills, I figure my best value to everyone would be my biggest passion, you know, which is, you know, the elbows. And I see a lot of good elbow fighters out there. I see a lot of people training elbows, but the honest truth is, without sounding too like for myself, I have never seen anyone do it like me.
Yeah, you're right. Greg Nelson said the same thing, and that's big from Greg. But Yeah, your style is so aggressive, and it's just perfect for all the guys that are training, and these MMA guys. They need to learn the elbow system too, because it's a legal thing. It's 100% legal. I don't understand why. I mean, if I was fighting today, I would be training with you. I would be. Yeah, I would be learning all your elbow stuff. I mean, it's such an underused weapon. You're right, and most of these guys, they don't really know the timing or how to set it up, or they're too telegraphic, or just your smashing forearm to the face, followed by the low hook, high hook, and then another right elbow to the face, and just stuff like that. And then your hard switch kick, and your hard low chopping right kick also. But
yeah, see, you know my moves. You've got them. That's it. Boom.
I watch your stuff. But I was going to ask you. You said you had some surgery for your hips. Was that from Thai boxing, or was that degenerative?
Yeah, I ended up having 2 surgeries. One was in 2009. They did 2 hip arthroscopies where they went in and shaved the bone spurs that were just there, which a bone spur isn't necessarily from Thai boxing. It might have been from like from when you're a teenager and you're growing, the bone plates shift or something. So like more of a defect without being a defect. And then you don't know about it until you're like throwing 10,000 kicks, and then you got sore hips, and then you get an X-ray and you get that shaved out. So then fast forward 10 years more past that date, and I had to go get my hips resurfaced, which was basically 2 hip replacements.
Wow.
A couple of years ago, and that sucked real bad. So then they haven't really fully recovered, even though if you watch my Instagram, you wouldn't see anything wrong with my kicks. And my students, my students aren't complaining, saying there's not something wrong with your kicks. They're complaining that there's something is right with them.
I'm Nick, and I was like, how did he have a hip replacement? How was he kicking like that with a hip replacement?
Double, and they're both done.
Double.
At the same time. I woke up and I said, "Oh shit, what did I do?"
Yeah.
I think I'm braver than I gave myself credit for. I'm like, no, this is no good.
How long did it take you to get back up on your feet?
You know what? They make you get up the next day, and the physios make you get up the next day. So I can't even get out of the bed. I can't stand up. They make you get up and get the thing and start walking. Wow. The next day they make you walk again. They won't let you leave the hospital until you can walk and get in a car seat, like a fake car. They open the door, you got to sit in the car and get in the car, and they make you step up 2 steps. You've got these tests. Within 3 or 4 days, you have to be able to do that before you exit.
Wow.
Brutal, but painful. I wouldn't wish it upon anyone.
How long did that put you out for?
But you know what? Like, it was months of brute pain, and then it's taken years to even get back to like what I would classify as something that I'm even happy with. And even now, like there's limitations that I know of that aren't the same. It's hard to put my shoes on. I can't quite get in certain positions, and I don't know if the surgery went wrong or the healing was wrong, or it's just it is what it is. But we just have to keep going forward, right?
Wow.
So it's a lot of punch, elbow, body shot, and then switch kick the body. Boom.
Well,
don't ask for any head kick because they're not coming anytime soon.
Well, head kick them. They just have to be laying on the ground.
That's what I figure. I hit them with a lever shot. That'll drop them down.
That's right.
Take them out.
Perfect. Yeah, Nick, you do seminars. What are they? 3-hour workshops or?
Yeah, typically I like to say 3 hours because that gives me time to set their mind up first. I like to talk about the mentality first because as you know, like a technique is just a technique. In martial arts it works, but in a fighting you need to have a mentality behind that technique. Like martial arts, every technique works, but can it really work in a fight? And how to make it really work is like that mentality has to put energy and life behind it and like that difference. So
that's what I see with you when I watch you talk. You suddenly just like your spirit like comes out of you.
Yes.
if you want to see Nathan's spirit, just talk about Muay Thai and ask him to show you a technique, and all of a sudden, here it comes.
Yeah, you're
Electric.
right.
Electric. It's like Bruce Lee said. It's you zap when everything is just explosive, and you can just see and feel it, and it makes you. It also inspires people when you're around that energy. It inspires you to just like be your best, and also try to absorb that mindset.
Absolutely, Eric, and thank you for recognizing that. And that's exactly what it is. So now, like I said, I don't want to really fight anymore. I just want to live in that vibration, that energy, and just keep passing that forward, whether it's for martial arts or if I can just use the same mindset and apply it to, people's own mental health or business or relationships or friendships or whatever it is. It doesn't really matter.
Do you want them to contact you through Instagram message?
Look, it's these days, it seems pretty simple. I read all my messages. I read all my comments. You know what I mean? I'm really personable. I don't just go whatever. I do all my own Instagram. I don't have any companies working for me or managing me or posting for me. Everything you see is me.
Wow. And then you're also a commentator for, what's it called? Lion?
Yeah, I've been commentating for Lion Fight. We had a great opportunity last year where we were on the UFC Fight Pass. So that was kind of cool to go to speak, globally on TV platform. That's fun. I love doing the TV. I'm an analyst, of course, so that's my role. And that's one of my passions as well. Obviously, you get to meet fighters, hear about their stories, and then I get to go and, advocate them on live TV.
I like the fact that one of the best things I started getting into is commentary, and I did different videos, and I commentated other fights before, and I always tell people before they're done fighting that they have to look at what they're going to do when they're done fighting. Where are you going? What's your game plan? You can't just get out of fighting without a game plan. You have to, otherwise you get depressed and you're sad and you're forlorn, and all of a sudden, if you can stay involved somehow, so the seminars obviously, but the commentary is, especially for you being such a superstar, you should be a part of the sport all the time. That you're commentating and you're you're giving your expert knowledge and an analyst, and then don't you also write for a magazine or something?
Yeah, Fight Mag was a magazine that was like an internet magazine that my friend in Australia started many years ago. So I used to write a lot of columns. I haven't been writing for the last 12 months much, to be honest with you, but I had been writing a lot of stuff before. This last year, I was really focusing on building my brand in America and to the world. But obviously here with coaching at Rising Sun Style Boxing, and posting up on Instagram and trying to sell my videos and get my spread out there and just pass the message on and really push the message. Everything that which is amazing, because what I'm putting out there, even though we've caught up a few times, we haven't even spoke about this. You're obviously seeing it and seeing what I'm doing, because you're talking about it. So it's been received from people on the outside.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Social media is the big one, but I think Instagram's probably hooked up with Facebook, and also on Twitter. It's an easy way to hit a lot of avenues, and people can get that. They can get hooked up and watch your stuff. But I think also for all the CSW affiliates through our association, I think all our guys should get your elbow system so they could learn it, because it goes perfect.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be fantastic if they would, go in there and purchase that. And obviously, if they like what they see, they could, fly me in for a personal seminar, which is obviously even better to get the real understanding and real energy. I also just started a YouTube channel, which is pretty much just launched this week. So that's, again, on Instagram. You can go and hit the link and subscribe to that, which will just be me giving away 2 videos a week of basically free content, really. I mean, it's going to be from everywhere. I mean, I'm even looking forward to doing a segment with you and having you in there showing something. It's going to be me a lot of the times, my students sometimes, other people sometimes, and just growing the giving knowledge away really is what it is. Obviously, eventually it can monetize it, make some money, make a business, because we all have rent and bills to pay and things like that. But ultimately, it's for the actual viewer, it's free. So they're going to get a lot of quality out of that over the next coming months and year, of course.
So is that up already, the YouTube channel?
Yeah, it's up. I just launched it. It's on my Instagram again. You just hit the link and you just go straight to there, subscribe. I put up an introduction video on Monday. There'll be another video released tomorrow as far as a viewing video. I'm going to release 2 videos a week, just Monday, Thursday, just every week. I don't know what I'm going to teach. I film 10 videos at a time, so I've got some 5 weeks of stash, you know what I mean? So then we can just upload them ready to go.
That's great.
No particular order. It's more just through feeling and what I feel like I want to teach at the time. And if you hang around long enough, hey, you're going to learn.
Yeah, that's great. Okay. So that's it, guys. Everyone listen. So it's Nathan Carnage Corbett on Instagram. Follow his YouTube channel and then buy his elbow system. You will be completely happy with it. And it's very, it fits perfect with what we are already doing. So it's just kind of a missing link that a lot of guys don't do, is the elbows, and just to watch you actually knock the crap out of everybody with your elbows, again, is battle tested, combat ready. What else was there? Well, one final thing, Bob, you're going to get the links. You're going to get all the video footage.
Yes, we'll have all of his links in the show notes.
That'd be great. So anyways, we'll talk more, Nathan, about everything.
Yep, absolutely.
You're also available for private lessons, right? You do.
Yeah.
I'm gonna send a couple guys your way. I think you already talked to Jacob, right?
He did message me, yeah.
Okay, good. So he's planning on coming over, and he's in the prime of his fight career right now. So there's no reason why that would be perfect for him.
Yes.
So it's great. Okay.
Awesome.
Well, I really appreciate your time, and I'm glad that I could interview you and expose you to a lot of people that haven't seen you. So this is going to be wonderful for everybody. So I appreciate your time, Nathan.
Yeah, no, much appreciated, Erik, and look forward to seeing you down at Ruka.
Thank you. I'll see you down there.
Okay.
See you soon.